Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jerry Simmons, the National Archives and Records Administration External Liaison to the SNAC Cooperative, and I will be your host for the day along with Daniel Pitti, the SNAC Director. We have a full program that will run roughly from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. For today's session, and then we'll have another session tomorrow afternoon from 1 to 4 p.m. There are a number of links to be aware of. I want to share one now if you don't already have a link going to the for today's program. I'm just going to send it to everyone and I'll send it out later on as well. This is a link that takes you to the SNAC portal so you can follow along in the program. As we get started this afternoon, we have special welcomes from two of our biggest SNAC supporters, John Unsworth, the Dean of Libraries at the University of Virginia, and a welcome from David Ferriero, Archivist of the United States. I'll invite John Unsworth to now share and come on and give his welcome.
Hi, thank you, Jerry. And thank you all for attending today, and thanks for your participation and social networks in archival context. I'm very pleased to have SNAC located at and associated with the University of Virginia Library, and I'm delighted with its success so far. I've known the SNAC director, Daniel Pitti, since hiring him from Berkeley as Associate Director for the Institute for Advanced Technology and the Humanities here at UVA back in 1997. SNAC has all the hallmarks of a typical Pitti project. It's built around a community standard. It depends on community buy-in and participation. And it accomplishes something that is eminently useful for research. An earlier example of this, to my mind at least, was Daniel's IMLS-funded work in 2002 to create an online catalog, an integrated finding guide to the dispersed manuscripts of Walt Whitman. That effort was based in encoded archival description, was led by a close collaboration of librarians, technical experts, and scholars from UVA, the University of Nebraska, Columbia, NYPL, UT Austin, Duke, and RLG. And it resulted in an online catalog that allows a Whitman scholar to locate thousands of Whitman manuscript items in hundreds of collections around the world, solving what had been until then an extremely difficult research problem. I see SNAC in a very similar light, led by a coalition of different kinds of experts, depending on the participation of many more experts in archives and special collections, and resulting in what is, in this case, a more generalized sort of finding guide, linking related records across many different archives to enable research. It's great to see, and it looks like you have many interesting topics queued up over the next couple of days, so welcome.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John. And now David Ferriero, the Archivist of the United States.
Thanks, Jerry, and greetings from the National Archives flagship building in Washington, D.C., which sits on the ancestral lands of the Nacotchtank people. Since the 2020 meeting, SNAC's membership has increased steadily, and I'd like to welcome several higher learning and cultural heritage institutions, including Emory University's Stewart A. Rose Manuscript Archives and Rare Book Library, the Harry Ransom Center, Syracuse University Libraries, Boston Public Library, University of Southern California, Columbia University, University of Maryland, Amherst College, Arquivo Nacional in Brazil, Litchfield Historical Society, University of Colorado at Colorado Springs, University Archives, Kramer Family Library, Military Women's Memorial at Arlington, Virginia, and the Vassar College Libraries. A wonderful group of additional members of SNAC. NARA SNAC liaisons, Dina Herbert and Jerry Simmons, continue in their leadership roles for SNAC School. They've been supporting two major description initiatives in collaboration with SNAC partners. One is a description of enslaved persons and other entities related to the slave trade era, and the other is forefronting descriptions of indigenous persons and related entities. In collaboration with partners from Harvard and the University of Maryland High School, the NARA SNAC Liaisons team will host an Indigenous Editathon 2021 coming up in October. And since the 2020 meeting, 20 NARA staff have been trained in SNAC school and are now actively editing SNAC authority data and linking SNAC records to records descriptions in the National Archives catalog. So thanks to Dina, Jerry, and the whole NARA SNAC team for their work. Enjoy the 2021 SNAC annual meeting. I hope to see you one day soon here at the National Archives. Have a great meeting.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David. And now I'm going to turn things over to the SNAC director, Daniel Pitti, for his annual State of the Cooperative.
Okay, thank you, John. Thank you, David. Thank you, Jerry. I'm not sure exactly why we began calling this the State of the Cooperative, but it's now become there we go. Okay, so welcome to the SNAC Cooperative Annual Meeting. David just ran through the new members since last time. Thank you for doing that, David. That'll expedite my delivery here. Welcome to new volunteer editors, of whom there have been many and many more to come, we hope. And we'd also like to add to, look forward to adding more institutional members. As I have done every year when we have a new arrival in the SNAC community, I'd like to welcome them. So I welcome Jada Sujin Green, and born February 2021. And congratulations to Iris Lee and John Green, future archivist. With respect to the meeting, we ask that those attending please keep yourself muted. We ask you to put questions in chat, and we welcome chat, questions. More on that later as we get along to where questions are likely to arise. All sessions are being recorded to be made available later. We did this last year, and it proved to be quite popular. There were many people. You can sort of check in and out of a meeting like this, but you may not be available when there's something you really want to see. And as we did last year, we will segment that so that you don't have to go through hours of video to find the part you want. We've also set up a sign-in, a shared attendance list, and as much as anything, this will help us. Well, we get a sense of our community and changing on who's interested and not. And also, we're happy to add you to the SNAC Cooperative listserv, which is not a really busy place, but it is a place where whenever we're doing something, we will announce it there. And so it won't fill up your inbox, but it will keep you informed. And then please collaborate in note keeping. And I believe Jerry is going to put into chat links to both the shared attendance list and to the note keeping document. And again, let me emphasize, leave the lists or yes or no, leave it blank if you're already subscribed, because what I did last year afterwards is I subscribed those that weren't subscribed, but some people weren't quite clear on that instruction. So I repeat it. So who and what? So the SNAC Cooperative is a community of cultural heritage professionals sharing the work of describing the persons, organizations, and families that created or are documented in historical records, linked to descriptions of the records, and all interrelated in a vast and growing social document network. And what we produce as a community together is a powerful historical research resource that provides union access to dispersed historical resources, and that provides access to the social networks within which the people, organizations, and families exist or existed. The core team, so let's say the basic team behind this, the core team is pretty much the whole community, but the administrative team is myself. Jerry Simmons is the operations coordinator at NARA, Dina Herbert at NARA, and Joseph Glass is the technical lead. We meet every couple of weeks. The technical development team is Joseph Glass, Jason Jordan, the UVA library, Robbie Hott, UVA computer science, and Derek Jacob Ramirez Cabrera, consultant. We have an overarching operations committee that exists of the admin team and working group chairs. And the working groups are the editorial policy and standard, chaired by Susan Pazinski, communications, chaired by Faith Carlton, technology, chaired by Alexandra Dury, and new added since the last meeting is a working group, research and reference, and that is chaired by Marisa Burgon at the Archives of American Art. And then finally, there's a SNAC school working group directed by Jerry Simmons. Jerry pops up all over the place. He's pretty busy. And here he is again. These are, let's see, what are we up to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 instructors for SNAC school. And Jerry will report on SNAC school activities later. Becca Morgan from the American Museum of Natural History and Beth Scoop from Harvard Houghton Library are recently added since last year instructors. So we have a great team and they're busy. Again, just if you're new to SNAC, we started as a research and development project in 2010 and remained in that research and development mode until 2015. And along the way, we began planning how to keep it around and keep it around as a cooperative shared resource and platform for supporting our work. So from 2015 to 2020, we engaged in transforming the research and development into a cooperative, and we're now in the current phase in the last steps of establishing the cooperative. As I did last year, here are some of the current numbers. I won't go through them all in detail. Most of the numbers at the top there are relatively stable, and I'll touch on why they're relatively stable in a second. We currently have 54 member institutions and an additional one just about to cross the threshold. And we're averaging, and this is a really pleasing number, we're averaging about 100,000 visitors per month to the public research site. And that's a 100% increase from 2020. The number of descriptions overall has not increased since the initial research and development demonstration build. as it depended on it now depends on manual editing and merging of duplicates offsets the additions. So for every new one we get, we end up merging, two duplicates into one. So it offsets it going back and forth. But this will change as we resume ingesting large sets of data, and there'll be more on what we're doing in that regard, particularly tomorrow afternoon with the various technologies that we're working on. So the community itself is building a community of professionals committed to preserving and providing access to the past, to building an innovative research reference resource that provides integrated access to historical records all around the world, and that emphasizes the people that created or are documented in the records, and that emphasizes the social connections among the people documented in the records. We are committed to performing that work ethically and to making our memory more representative. And I like to use the last phrase as often as possible, doing together what none of us could do alone. With respect to ethical description, representative descriptions, many of our activities place an emphasis on ethical description. And we have for some time been focused on the classifying of individuals, families, and groups into demographic categories. And this is useful to scholars, but it can be abused and historically has been in the most egregious ways. Because it's useful, we want to do it, but it needs to be done ethically based on evidence. And fundamentally, ethical description needs to respect how people identify it themselves. Many of our activities emphasize being representative. So the work that we're doing on enslaved description, indigenous native group and individual description, we're going to hear more on all of those. Developing methods for small repositories without expertise to have their holdings represented in SNAC. And we're calling that, the technical work that we're doing there, light SNAC, if you get the pun. And today we will have presentations on gender classifications, description of the enslaved, and description of an indigenous native groups and individuals. And then tomorrow we'll hear about light SNAC. With respect to technical development, we're placing a lot of focus on Open Refine plus SNAC and archive space plus SNAC, which you'll otherwise hear both of these as a SNAC plugin to Open Refine or a SNAC plugin to archive space. And then light SNAC is essentially form-based wizard for input of basic repository, resource description, and CPF entity description. All three of those will be demonstrated tomorrow. Other technical development underway, excuse me, is vocabulary management, subjects, occupation, activities, slavery, era demographic terms, and more. The relations vocabulary for essentially what ties the social document all together. And we're going to vastly expand the vocabulary and the precision with which you can relate the CPF entities to one another, to resource descriptions, and to place. And we're doing a complete revision of the place term management. And we're also devoting a lot of time to batch merging of duplicate CPF, in particular repositories and corporate bodies. And that, if you refer back to the earlier slide where I say for everything that we are creating new, we're merging just as many and reducing the number. But in the end, this improves the overall quality of what we have. And we think that that's a very good thing, and it eases the burden on editors. And that over time, we will begin making the number bigger rather than keeping it stable. And then still on our agenda is implementation of push-pull data exchange with Wikidata. We're very much open to new members, new volunteers, and ideas for projects. We're particularly keen on ideas for projects, particularly those focused on improving representation, which is to say, to make SNAC less about white men and be more representative of society at large. We provide assistance in planning projects and writing funding proposals. We will work with you to develop ideas and provide support, both intellectual and technical. Or other ways of participating is add your voice by joining a SNAC working group. Now, reflecting back and looking forward is the brief history said we began as a research and demonstration project in 2010. And then in 2015, began to transition to a cooperative and a sustainable cooperative enterprise. And this involved completely rebuilding the technical infrastructure, and the bulk of that work was completed quite some time ago. But it also involved building a community with shared understanding and purpose. And as I reflect back on, to 2015 and the first time we met together as a community, it was a bit awkward, and the efforts, was very tentative. And in part, we were just seeking to find a common language and a common understanding. But slowly out of that, these face-to-face meetings would be just really intense, and people were building new friendships, new collaborations, and the like. And slowly out of that, I do think that we've built a very robust, engaged, and welcoming community. And I'd like to express my gratitude to all of the people that are engaged and have contributed so much to this and participate in this community. And referring back to the previous slide, one of the things I would like to emphasize is the expression welcoming community. The governance groups and the working groups are really pretty informal. They meet by and large once a month for just an hour, but in between they engage in a variety of activities. And, there are no elections, there are no, really to participate, all one needs is to be interested in participating and engaging. And either merely as a witness or as someone who's helping to develop documents and policies and the like. And so one of the things I think is that the governance structure, if you are a young professional or in an institution where young professionals, it's a very good place for young professionals, I think, defined, established, and expert members in the profession that will warmly welcome them and initiate them in the kindest way into the profession. So please consider joining us. And with that, I thank you again for attending. Next up, and we're ahead of schedule, which is a good thing. Next up, there will be brief working group updates, and at which point you'll be able to meet some of the really nice people that are part of the SNAC community. Thank you.